Alright everyone, in totally coincidental timing, there's now a story out from Insider in which an anonymous individual that worked as a flight attendant for SpaceX claims that Elon Musk, while getting a massage there, got naked and effectively propositioned her, and there's a settlement for $250,000. That's known basically to shut up about it as part of a severance package. Now first, let's point out the way in which bigwig corporate life goes. If someone claims, and there's no footage of the event, so to speak, no recording to back you up, if someone accuses you of rape or sexual assault, which is the latter in this case, or propositioning or something, is it some sort of sleazy and potentially illegal behavior? Which one do you want to do? Do you want to go into a court with a very public trial, high profile, because you're rich and potentially famous? Elon Musk by 2018 certainly was. Which will drag out into the tune of millions of dollars, in which a jury sympathetic to that person that just doesn't like you for personal reasons, because you're famous, it's harder potentially for people at that point, unless they're politically connected, to even get a fair trial. And Musk was not so politically connected in 2018 as he is now. He's trying to buy up Twitter. There's the coincidence, by the way. Do you want to do that, or do you just pay them off? And say, look, fuck it, I don't want this to go to trial. Just basically shut up. I know that you want a payday. Here's $250,000 because I can make that in literally 5 seconds. Musk chose the latter, which tends to be the case in these cases. There are so many closed cases and settlements that involve non-disclosure and a payout out there. You don't even hear about half of them, unless it's something like this. In which case, the total coincidence is that Elon Musk is trying to grab up Twitter. He's obviously under attack by the entire legacy media at the same time. Even Fox barely defends him. And all of a sudden, Insider gets this really great exclusive scoop to release, showing that actually he sexually harassed someone. I'm seeing people make that declarative statement. A settlement does not indicate guilt. It may predispose the public to believe you guilty, but when you are playing at that level, the alternative is paying 10 times as much, having to go to court when you've got work to do. You're running Tesla, the boring company, and SpaceX at the same time, and putting up satellites and computers and cars and shit, and you're going to have to go physically to a court over and over again for extended periods of time. It's sort of like Razor Fist has a multi-part thing on this about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson effectively was being browbeaten even by his own legal teams to just settle the initial sexual assault allegations against him because he had just basically launched what was going to be the grand world tour in defense of one of his albums, which would make him, fucking hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of that fiscal year. You can take the time off in a very, very lengthy trial and lose out on $100 million in a case that you might not win anyway if it goes before a jury because they can be biased. You're Michael Jackson, it can be a problem. Or you can just pay this person a few $1,000,000 and they go away. Razorfist points out that it was the general knowledge of more intelligent people that the case should actually be fought, but it wasn't. And it looks a lot like this. It also reminds me of the Stormy Daniels case. Now you'll remember that Donald Trump successfully sued Stormy Daniels to the point where now she's probably a shell of her former self fiscally. After having paid her, I think it was $500,000 to basically shut up about him banging her. She was basically an escort at the time and a porn star. And he screwed her and then said, well, we kissed, but don't tell. Here's a bunch of money. It's a gift, effectively. She breaches the agreement, makes salacious claims against him. He sues and he wins. Huge win for Trump, by the way, in that case. That wasn't that long ago. This could end up the same way. And Elon Musk actually, it was funny. Elongate is the name of this particular scandal. He himself minted it some time ago. If there's ever a scandal about me, call it Elongate, because that'd be perfect. He's memeing about it. I don't think that he feels too threatened. I saw one thread earlier this morning. Oh, Elon Musk is going to go to jail. There was a settlement. There was an agreement involved. It was a civil case. That's the other part. Someone sexually assaults you. Why don't you go to the cops? Why don't you have an investigation done? It's because this person, for political reasons, doesn't like Elon Musk. Probably bitched about this after, trying to extort him anyway. It's probably a false claim. It'd be funny if he had video of the purported event and it shows him not doing anything wrong. If that's the case, it'd be hilarious. And now they want more attention, although anonymous attention at the moment, to try to attack Elon Musk, probably to try to halt this Twitter sale. That's probably what this is. He's correct when he says that it's a political attack. And he warned that it was coming, which is why he's been doing his 4D chess thing to try to set up to defend himself, keep the Twitter acquisition going. What would be really funny is that if he were to ban all the legacy media outlets off the site and say, if you don't like it, make your own Twitter. Why don't you go use Gab or Truth Social upon acquiring it? I think that'd be good. Give them all a temporary ban, a little bit of a spanking to reduce their reach because they're peddling extremism. Certainly Insider and groups like that do. Throw in the New York Times, the Atlantic, and CNN and MSNBC and all of their various pundits and axe their accounts until after the midterms to prevent their insurrectionary violence like Maxine Waters style. Hope that something like that happens. The shoe would be on the other foot kicking him in the ass and they wouldn't know what to do except scream about free speech that they themselves have championed the reduction of. Again, if you don't like it, you can always make your own site and your own payment processor and all this stuff. You get billions in assets. I'm sure you can figure it out. I don't think that this timing is coincidental, though. I think it would be beyond the pale to say if you're being attacked by the entire media at once, they're bringing up your past in apartheid South Africa. Yeah, when you were a little kid, you were certainly capable of influencing apartheid-era public policy over in Pretoria at the time. That makes a lot of sense. And they got panned for that. They've tried to look at his finances. They've been attacking him on the basis that he's not from the United States initially. A proud African-American immigrant is being attacked by the legacy media. It's very interesting how that can happen in today's day and age. I thought we were enlightened. I thought we were over the bigotry. Tongue-in-cheek, of course, because we're not. So now, since that hasn't worked, they got some rando to disclose this case, probably politically motivated. They probably dug through the court records, contacted them straight up and said, please let us run this story. Otherwise, Elon will bring Nazis back to Twitter. I bet anything that that's how this worked. In the end, nothing will come of it, other than people pretending that it's somehow relevant to the Twitter acquisition. None of these people, by the way, had any problem with Elon Musk back when he simply towed the environmentalist line and talked about electric cars and how great they were. They only started to have a problem when he criticized the Biden admin, didn't criticize Trump enough prior to that, and into the present, and started trying to buy Twitter. Really, it's antagonized the hell out of these people. What they don't want is someone running Twitter who can do more than just pay lip service to free communication and free speech and can actually impose it, and they can't undercut them because they've got too many other assets that aren't even related to human communication. Try as they might, I don't think that they're going to be able to knock out Tesla or SpaceX or the Boring Company, which is a little bit of a flop. The idea of building tunnels underneath all the cities and potentially seismic zones doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. Look to the skies instead of tunneling around like a mole and try to up the efficiency of personal gyrocopters and hovercraft, and then we can talk. That's about all. Peace out.